Hello and welcome to the Tacticool channel. I'm your host, as always, Tacticool, working every day to bring you the best guns, gear, knife channel available on YouTube. And in today's video, we're just going to go ahead and take a quick look at what I have as my inventory for knives to review for you guys, or if you want to put it as a collection, I guess we could call it my knife collection. I know it's been a while since I've shot a video for you guys. I've just had a lot of life things going on. I had another baby. Bought a new house and had to move in and all that other stuff. But anyway, so this is just a video to show you some stuff that might be coming up for reviews. If there's a knife that you really like that I don't have a review yet for, go ahead and post it in the comments. Maybe that'll bump its way up and how fast it gets reviewed or looked at. So we're going to go ahead and look. These are all the knives that I have. I pulled everything from all the kits that I had, so I got to go ahead and put all that back. But normally there's not nearly this many actually in this case. This is a Plano case from Walmart. It's a gun case that they have there where you can pluck the foam out to form it to what you specifically need. So I really like that idea. It fits my knives very well. But anyway, yeah, so since the knives aren't all normally in here, that's why some of these don't necessarily have a spot. But so let's go ahead and look at some of these loose guys right now. We have the Spyderco Resilience. This is one of the first knives I reviewed, I think. Well, one of the earlier ones anyway. It has a lot of wear on it. I still really like it. Although as time's worn on, I've really stepped away from suggesting the Spyderco economy line to people, just the fit and finish, like the spider hole not being chamfered quite the way it needs to. Stuff like that, especially at this price point, make me want to shy away from right around the $40. There's a bunch of knives now that can really compete at the price point that these are at. So, I mean, these are still really good knives, and, if you want one, go buy one, but there's other things that I tend to suggest now before these guys. But I still really like it, and this is in a bag. So obviously I like it enough for that. Next up is my Wenger Evolution 16. This is my first ever Swiss Army knife. Wenger and Victorinox are both the official Swiss Army knives. But Wenger actually doesn't exist anymore, to the best of my knowledge. Victorinox bought them a while ago, but Victorinox decided to phase out the Wenger factory, so all Swiss Army knives that are actual Swiss Army knives that are new production are from the Victorinox company. But I really like this. This is still in my EDC. I just really like the tool set that's on it. I get a lot of use out of this one. If you told me I could only have one knife out of all of these and I could only have one item for EDC, it would probably be this Wenger Evolution 16, just because of the tool sets and how much I like it. I really like that knife. This is the Victorinox Camper, or Victorinox, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I don't believe I did a review on this one yet, but I really like this. The Camper is a good name for this one. The only thing that I really am shying away about a little bit is this corkscrew. I'm having trouble figuring out, other than to open a cork, what I'm really going to use that for. But I really like this knife. Review to come. This is the Buck Light Large. I got this one actually really a while ago. Got my dad a Buck 110 from the custom shop as a birthday gift one year. It might have been almost 2 years ago now. So, if I'm honest, I was a little jealous. I got it in S30V. It came out really nice. So if you guys are ever thinking about using the Buck Custom Shop, go ahead and do that. Maybe I'll ask if I can borrow it for a day just to do a video on it for you guys. But anyway, so I didn't want to drop the same amount of money that I did on his. So I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and try this Buck Light. It was on sale. I think it was like 15 bucks or something like that. It's basically a Buck 110, but with a nylon handle, same steel, has a pocket clip. it has its ups and downs, but for the price I paid, I'm not totally against it. Review for this one, locking back. Now, let's see here. We'll go ahead and look at the last Swiss Army knife. This is the Victorinox Micro, or I guess some places call it the Classic, where it's just, you know, you got your little pen knife, nail file screwdriver, and tiny pair of scissors. Also has the toothpick and tweezers. This is, I guess, like a keychain knife or something like that. But I enjoy this knife. I carried it for a little bit. We'll get into the review things that I liked and didn't like about it, where I find myself not really using it too often. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and look at what I would deem the interesting stuff. And we're going to go ahead and work left to right. So up first is the Microtech Ultratech. These are the tri-grips, and I've really liked Microtech for a while, but I never bought one because they had the smooth aircraft aluminum anodization, and I wasn't sure about the grip. But once I saw that they came out with this tri-grip, I was like, that's for me. I'm going to go ahead and buy one. This is obviously the Tonto dual finish, and then I liked it so much I ended up getting a used one that is the double-edged, one serrated, one plain edge, also in the tri-grip. Really like both of them. I'm probably just going to squeeze both of those into one review. Elmax steel, very nice. Next up is probably one of my two most carried knives of probably the last at least year, is the Benchmade 940 Osborne. As you can tell, I got a little bit of wear on it so far because I really used the heck out of this knife. Anodized aluminum, titanium anodized backspacer, S30V steel. Just a lot to like about this knife. This was my first plus $100 knife, so this really opened the gateway for some of these other ones. This was the first one that I bought before the Microtechs and some of the other high-end knives that you're going to see there in here. But well, I don't know about high-end, but mid-end. Axis lock, really like it. Review to follow for that one. Next up is a newer one, but I'm enjoying it, is my Spyderco Mannix 2. This is the newer version where it's S110V with the blurple scales. I think I would have liked S30V a little bit better, but this was the only way to get the what Spyderco calls the dark blue scales. But I really like the scales so much where I was like, you know what, I'll take the S110. I know a lot of people feel that it's an upgrade, but I have some issues with it. We'll talk about that in a review. But made in the USA, really like it. Found a guy on one of the knife forums on Facebook that gave me a good deal on it new. So really like this knife. It's going to be a fun review. Alright, this is the CRKT Riffle. I really don't carry this knife too much anymore, if I'm honest, because the 940 is pretty much the same size and I like it a lot more. But also this is like on a good day triple the price of this. But I still like it because it's really good for comparing other knives too, and it does have like a really smooth action to it. I really do like this knife. Got this one at Lowe's where it had like the pre-worn finish. I don't mind it. I know some people really don't like the pre-worn. They like their knives to look pristine, pretty much start to finish. I'm not that guy. I like them to look like they're well taken care of, but not used. I don't know about that. This is my Benchmade Triage. Now that I think about it, this was probably my first $100+ knife. But really like this knife. Has the partial serrations, has the sheep's foot tip on it. I do think I have a guy that I follow on YouTube named Apostle P, his knife channel, and he does a mod where he grinds that off and basically makes it into a reverse Tonto. I think I'll like that a little bit more because that'll take this from sort of a triage to a rift with a rescue cutter and glass breaker. But really like this knife, really like the axis lock. The G10 is still really grippy. Sorry, get that flick around the camera is sometimes difficult here. But this is that N680 steel. No problems with it so far. Still really like this knife. Now we have, this is probably my favorite quote-unquote beater knife when I know I'm going to do something with a knife that I shouldn't be doing. This is the knife I tend to reach for. This is like a $15 to $17 knife here. This is the Kershaw Freefall. Anyway, it has the HCR13 MOV steel. Holds a decent edge. Tanto blade is assisted opening. Has a little hot spot back here that I don't really care for, but I mean this is the knife. You can tell from the, I gotta touch it up and do a little TLC. I was doing some projects with it and got a little rough about it, but that's what this knife's for. Decent jimping. You'll see in the review. This is my first knife ever. Got it for my 7th birthday from my father. It is a Schrade Oldtimer. This is the 50T. As you can tell, it is well loved. Seen a lot of action. You know, a little heavy. I take it out sometimes, just for fun. You know, it's got the little nail nick, so you're probably going to end up doing, well, not probably, you're definitely going to end up doing a two-handed opening. It's a little small. I take it with me hunting sometimes if I know I'm going to be out in the woods, to pair it with my fixed blade. But anyway, it's just, you know, it's got a lot of sentimental value to it. So that's my Oldtimer. Up next, fairly recent addition, is my Spyderco Dragonfly 2. This is in the ZDP 183 with the British Racing Green. I really like this knife a lot. It is small, it is light, it cuts like a dream, full flat grind, has this nice wire clip. There's going to be a review on it, and as you can tell from me talking about it, it's going to be very positive. But that's the Dragonfly 2 by Spyderco. Let me see here, we already looked at the Microtech. This is the CRKT Shenanigan. I've had this knife for a while. This is a first production one. For whatever reason, I end up not really carrying it. But it's a nice size. I like the finish. Got it at a good price. I really like this little recurve that's here in the blade. I don't know why I tend to just not carry it. It's just some of these knives are really starting to fall into a category where they overlap with each other, and I think that's part of my problem. So might have to thin out the collection of stuff that I tend to not use or compare to a lot. But anyway, Shenanigan. And this is one of my Grail knives to go along with the Microtechs, and then there's two other ones that I would get hopefully in the future, although it's probably going to be a little bit distant future considering how much they are. Be a Hinder XM18 and a Chris Reeves knives Menendi. But this is a Strider SNG. This is the concealed carry version, and other than my Benchmade 940, this is my next most carried knife. I have no safe queens, other than I guess the autos are probably the closest thing I have to an actual safe queen, because you're not allowed to carry them where I live. You're allowed to own them but not carry them. So this I carry. This is the Coyote Brown titanium. Has the tiger stripe blade. Does show a little bit of wear, but this or my 940 are what you're probably going to see me carrying most days. I just really like it. The contouring on the concealed carry I really like a lot. S30V steel. This is probably one of my favorite knives. Top 2 anyway. Probably my favorite one. It has been running into a little bit of competition with my Mannix too, just because they're very, very similar sized. Actually, fairly similar shape, although the price difference is quite substantial. But anyway, so these are the knives that I have so far. Anything that doesn't have a review is going to be getting a review, so don't worry about that. If there's a knife that you'd really like me to see bump up to the front, go ahead and post it in the comments below, and I will see about bumping it up in the review order. And as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to see my videos as they become available. Until next time, tack out.